Our next guest has visited more colleges than the four of us combined. Eleise Richards is a Howard graduate and visited 93 historically black colleges and universities as part of her mission to help other students experience the legacy. Please welcome to DBL, Eleise. Hi.
Yes. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, this is so exciting. Okay, this is like just at the top of like what my list would have been when I was your age. So what motivated you to create the Experience the Legacy College Fair and visit 93 historically black colleges?
Yeah, so it developed while I was living in California. I lived in California for 5 years, and I just became aware of the HBCU community out there and how many resources and activities they provided their community. And it made me recall my own experience, realizing like I didn't have these type of resources and where I'm from. And a lot of students still did not know what an HBCU was. So that's what made me decide to create Experience the Legacy, to bring that HBCU experience directly to students from underserved communities who typically wouldn't have the resources or funds to go on an actual college tour. I wanted to bring that experience directly to them. And it was during my second college fair that I looked around the room and I noticed like I'm not familiar with a lot of the schools that are here. Like I was familiar with most HBCUs, but not a lot of them. And it just felt disingenuous to me to encourage students to check out these schools when I myself didn't really know much about some of them. So that's when I added it to my bucket list that one day I'm going to visit them all so that I can be a good resource for others.
Wow, good for you.
It's so innovative, and the idea of you doing this, because like back in my day, the way that I knew I wanted to go to Howard, but I wanted to go to Howard because I saw like Boys to Men on MTV, like on the Howard campus. So to bring this access this way, it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, and speaking of Howard, you're a Howard University graduate. Congratulations. And while you were a student there,
shout out to the Bison.
Was there a time when you realized the value of an HBCU experience?
Oh, yes, for sure. I remember, so I was the typical straight A good student. Like school did not come difficult for me. Like I breezed through classes pretty easily when I was in high school. And I remember getting to Howard's campus and matriculating through my coursework. There was one class that I realized I was struggling in, but I didn't really know how to ask for help because I wasn't used to struggling. And I just remember walking across the yard one day, and my professor, shout out to Professor Jipcat, she like hollered my name across the yard and asked me to come over to her and basically invited me to her office hours because she recognized that I was struggling and that I was having difficulty trying to ask for help. So she proactively extended that help to me. And that's when I knew like, oh, this experience is different. My teacher is looking out for me.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not a numbers game anymore. They're personally invested, and that is awesome. A lot of people are familiar with historically black schools because of movies and shows like A Different World, School Days, and now the Freaknik documentary. How well has pop culture, in your opinion, represented the black college experience, and how does this impact the schools?
Oh my gosh, I know. So what's so funny is I'm a first generation American, so I didn't grow up watching those shows because my Jamaican family didn't know about A Different World or what any of that meant. But it was after, I got put onto those shows that I realized pop culture actually did a really great job at reminding people and audiences about the impact and how transformational these schools are. I did appreciate how these shows depicted the rich and unique history and culture of HBCUs, the iconic events and movements in black culture that were born at HBCUs. I mean, not too long ago, we just had the greatest musical artist of our generation dedicate her entire Coachella performance to HBCUs. So I think they do a good job at bringing more visibility to these schools.
Well said. Well said. Thank you so much for joining us, Eleise. And to learn more about HBCUs and how to experience the Legacy HBCU College Fair, visit experiencethelegacy.org. Well done.